If you're looking for an unbiased review of the Giraffe Tools Grandfalls wall-mounted pressure washer, this video is for you, so stick around. So Giraffe Tools got in touch with me and said, do you want one of these for a video? And I said, yes, but I don't want to promote it because I've never tried it. I want to make a review video. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet because this is all new to me. I want to share the experience. But unboxings I find to be completely boring. So I'm simply going to click my fingers and it's all going to be out for you. Here we are. This is everything that comes in the box. You have the main pressure washer unit here with its pre-installed, pre-mounted 30-meter hose. That's a very cool thing, and that's definitely what catches a lot of attention with this pressure washer. The rest of the bits and pieces, you have the gun with an extension lance and also a nozzle to go onto the end. This one is an adaptable nozzle. I'll show you that later on. There is a tap adapter for our usual hose lock style connection for your tap. Then there is a small snow foam bottle. I'm going to guess that is around 400 or 500 milliliters. I'll measure that later, along with the bits and pieces that go into that. So that's your pickup pipe, which we'll just press in there. That'll go into the foam lance. There is a slightly filtered end to that as well, and you just push that in there and then whiz it on. It's not a wide type like some of us who are into car care look for, but it's going to be suitable enough for most people, I think. There is, once that stops rolling around, a large connection hose. This is what's going to go from your tap on one end into the side of the machine to supply it with water. That is, I believe, 2 meters long, so it's a decent length there. But if you want to connect this somewhere that your tap is not nearby, then you can always just connect your hose to that if you need. You can get adapters for that. I'll show you that later on. There's also the mounting plate. This is what goes on the wall to mount it. It even comes with a nice handy little magnetic level there, which you can attach there to help you get it level on your wall. So that's quite nice to have. This is everything. Also includes mounting hardware. So you've got wall plugs and large bolts. These are what go into the wall, and the ends of the bolts will go through this plate to hold it in place. And there's a slot on the back of the machine that you would slide it onto. Very straightforward. The installation does require a few tools of your own, and that useful little level is handy. Once it's on the wall, make sure you've got the correct end of the hose. It's the mesh end with a hex nut, and that should go on just hand tight. Should be fine. So this is the water inlet hose. It's a female end to connect to your tap. In this garage, I don't have a water supply on this wall. It's over on the other wall. So I would have to run a hose connection because this is only 2 meters long and it won't quite reach. What you can do though is you can use your own hose connection. Now, this is also a female connection. That won't quite work. But if you buy yourself a male-to-male connector like this, then you'll be able to connect one end to your hose, the other end to the inlet, and you'll be able to get water into the machine. So here's the installed 30-meter hose with a guide on here. This is actually, if you come closer, Glamorous Assistant, you can see this is actually, it's got a guide on here. This rolls at the same time as the hose. So when I start to pull this out, this rotates, and that's connected to this guide here. So as you pull it out, it will come off the reel from the end. When I let go, it stops. When I pull again, there's a click inside and it will start to reel back, and you'll see this will also roll up to the end of the reel, keeping your hose reel lovely and neat. That's very, very clever. Now the nice thing about this guided hose reel is not just that it keeps it neat and tidy, but also the spring that's in here, the mechanism that allows it to roll back. They call it infinitely adjustable because as I let go, it'll start to reel back in. But if I stop there, pull it back out again, I'll hear a click, drop it there, and it stops at that particular point. So you don't have to keep reeling it all the way in and all the way back out again. If I just need another couple of feet, I can pull, let it go back in, it's springing, now I'll pull it again, and it clicks to that length. That's really, really handy. This flexible hose, 30 meters long, it is rather a soft, flexible hose. That's going to make it nice and easy to work with, but there is the possibility of these hoses kinking. So keep in mind that's a possibility. If you damage this hose, though, and I believe this hose is rated, did say on the hose here, it's rated up to 2,610 psi. If you damage this, a replacement is actually incredibly cheap for the size of it. You can buy a replacement hose reel, 30 meters, for just $59.99, which is a very, very good price in case you happen to damage this. Now, before you get ready to switch on the machine, you need to make sure that you've got water inside your hose. If you switch on the machine without any water in there, it's going to be running really fast and really hot while it tries to pull all the water in and evacuate all the air from the hose. So it's recommended that the first thing you do is pull out some hose and get this end completely empty with nothing on it, switch on your water, and once the water comes out of here, you know you've got all the air out of the hose and you're ready to be able to start using it. So now you're ready to start using the unit. First of all, you've got the gun itself. This has a 1/4 inch quick release. If you're into car care detailing, that'll be familiar to you. Simply pop that on the end, pull the ring back and drop it into place. To remove it, just pull the ring back and pop it out. So very, very straightforward and simple. Then the extension itself is a bayonet fitting here, which twists. You push it in nice and firm and give it a twist, and that's locked into place. Then there's the nozzle itself. This is screwed onto the end like this, just a plastic screw unit there. And then to use this, there are a couple of plates inside there, and when you twist it in one direction, they open up and that will give you a jet of water, and when you close it down like that, it makes it narrower, so you get a fine fan of water. So now it's time for the first switch on. It's already plugged into the wall, it's switched on at the mains. Turn this. And that is now primed and ready to go. We can head out and start testing this. So as you can see, the nozzle here goes from a needle point, very, very fine indeed, all the way out to a wide jet. I'd say that's roughly 60 degrees wide. So you'll get much more pressure from the needle point if you so need it, but keep in mind you should never use this if you're using a pressure washer to clean your car. Always a fan, but you can change how wide or narrow that is without any tools or stopping. You can change it on the fly, which is, well, very nice, very useful. Now with the included snow foam gun here, I will say this is using quite a thick snow foam here, so your results may differ, but again you can change the angle of the snow foam on the fly, which is nice. The one thing I found interesting was the dilution dial on top didn't really make much of a difference to how thick the snow foam was, whichever way I turned it. It was quite loose. But this is very, very straightforward and simple. The proper kind of pressure washer situation you want for something at home. So for the spec nerds, I'll cover just a few bits and pieces here because I like to know the details of the pressure washer that I'm going to be buying or using. It is that flexible hose, keep that in mind. It's not a stiff hose, so it does make it very flexible and easy to use, but there is that kink possibility, and also it's not as heavy duty as some others. So keep that in mind. This is not what I would call a professional machine by any standards. Now, like I said, 30 meters, that's a replaceable soft grey hose. It has a 2000 watt brush motor inside, running at 8.5 amps. The maximum temperature of water you can allow through it is 40 degrees Celsius or 104 Fahrenheit if you're in old money. And the power cord, that's a 5 meter length power cord. The maximum pressure at initial discharge is 2400 psi, but your rated pressure, typical pressure under load, is 1800 psi. With a maximum flow rate of 2 gallons per minute, rated flow rate 1.3 gallons per minute. I'm going to guess that might be American gallons, it could be UK gallons, I'm not sure, it doesn't mention it on here. The unit net weight is 18 kilograms, gross weight with everything there is 21 kilograms. So that's some of the spec if you're interested in that kind of thing. Watch out for reeling back in, because you really do need to feed it or hold on to it, because if you don't, it can take off at a hell of a speed. Now, although this is wall mounted for now, it's not a permanent solution because it does drop onto that wall mount, that bracket. You can take it off. If you are somewhere where you need to take a pressure washer with you and it's your only one, then you're not actually stuck. You can take it with you. It doesn't have any feet per se, but I mean, you could always glue some little rubber blocks to the bottom of it to allow it to sit somewhere. So it is definitely still a portable pressure washer. It has handles on the side and a grab bit at the back. You can pick it up and carry it around with you, so don't feel like you're stuck just in your garage. And something my glamorous assistant just pointed out to me, she said, what happens though with the reeling situation if it's not mounted on the wall? And that's a very, very good point. Someone's going to ask that question. And the short answer is, realistically, you're going to have someone holding onto the machine while you're pulling it out, unless you can, I don't know, somehow manage to put your foot on it to hold it in place. The recoil spring is really, really stiff, so it does make it very good at pulling the hose back in, but there is some effort required to pull that hose out. So yeah, that's a fair point. If you're going to have it out and about with you, in the back of a van, in the back of your car, taking it to a friend's house, a neighbour's, a relative's, and you want to use it, someone's probably going to have to help you hold on to it while you're pulling the hose out. Interesting point. Now, when you're done with the machine, to tidy away, first of all, make sure the unit is off and your water is switched off. Squeeze the trigger to release any pressure that's in there. There will be quite a lot of pressure in there because there's a lot of pressure stored up in that hose. So once it stops squirting out there, you can pull that to disconnect and drain out the water. There's a storage hook on the back here for the gun. It doesn't go all the way down because I have a piece of wood there, but that's where that would sit. And for the snow foam lance, there's a handy bit to drop your bottle in there. And the nice thing about being wall mounted is it doesn't take up any space on the floor. So move out whatever you're using there, and it helps you to put things in a more reachable position. That's probably one of my favorite things about this pressure washer, is it gives me some of my garage floor space back. Yeah. So when it comes to the verdict, what do I say? Well, it's a decent machine. There's nothing wrong with it, as long as you approach it the right way is probably the best way to describe this. This is not a super professional machine, but it's a really good alternative to some other really cheap machines. The fact that it's up on the wall gives you a bit more space. That massive hose gives you great flexibility. You can take it down, move it around if you need to, but you might need a friend to help you. But overall, it's a decent enough machine. I can't really argue with it. If you like the idea of the wall mounting, of the really long hose, I'm not going to say don't buy it. I think it's decent. Would I buy it compared to some other pro machines? No, it's not designed for that. You would want something which has an induction motor, a brushless motor of some sort, which is designed to handle heavier duty use, something with a bit more pressure, a stronger hose on it. So it's by no means the best, but it's not really aiming to be the best. It's aiming to be somewhere around the middle, and I think it does a good enough job of that. If you guys want to check it out, I will leave the website address down below. You can go and check out Giraffe Tools. Thanks to them for sending this unit over for review. If you've enjoyed this video though, if you found it useful, interesting or helpful, please go and hit the like button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and make sure you ring the notification bell so you don't miss my next video. In the meantime though, I've been Specky. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.